Show on the road. All right. So welcome. And as I said before, I'm seeing you're enjoying NIC, and I'm very happy for that. My name is Robert, and I'm from the neighboring country of Sweden. I did a session a few hours back regarding delivered services, focusing on backup as a service. And I see some familiar faces in the audience, which is an honor, of course. So being the last session out on any event is always interesting, because you will never know if, number one, people show up, number two, will they be drunk, number three, will they fall asleep. But here's the thing, guys, all those three are okay. I'm fine with that. So we're here to have a good time, and I'm here to possibly try to, not convince you, but inspire you to reconsider or consider or, get a feel of, monitor and manage your data center. Sounds good? This is where you said, yeah. Good. Let's get started. So the agenda for this session, the most common scenarios out there that I bump into being out in the field, either under Microsoft Premier Field Engineer, MCS, or within my own company, what are the most common scenarios when it comes to monitoring and that great word, proactivity? How do you actually do that? I will try to, let you in on the little secrets that you can use to build that, the actual true proactive monitoring approach. We're going to summarize it up with understanding is more the right word, the possibilities of what can we do in Azure and what's the deal about operational insights about, and how can you, benefit from it. Okay, sounds good? Yeah? Yeah, good. So, out in the field, the most common scenarios when it comes to monitoring. Number one, how many of you guys are doing monitoring in some way today? Okay, the most of you guys, cool. And how many of you great, fine gentlemen who just rose your hands are actually doing some kind of proactive monitoring? Good, good, yeah. Comme ci, comme ça. Yeah, but that's good. Listen now, this is important. There are no rights and there are no wrongs in my sessions, right? So feel free to just say. So when it comes to the most common scenarios, here are a few of them, like 5 of them, that I see on a very regular basis. When it comes to Ops Manager, our intelligence within the product is, of course, the management packs. And the own management pack we develop, either in the console, God forbid, or in the Visual Studio. Hooray! And the difference between the different scenarios of building the management pack is you do better stuff in Visual Studio. That's easy. The first one, staging verification environment. Rings a bell? What's the onboarding process of management packs in a larger hosting environment, or, boys and girls, hosting perspective, service providing perspective? Do you know how the actual management pack will, react within your environment? No. I see tons, and I mean tons, of implementations, larger companies saying that, we have one production environment, we just put in the management pack and wish for the best. And that's not the way to do it. The first thing you do when you implement a management pack is you read the management pack guide. Number one, okay, I know it gives you 20% insight of what the management pack actually is doing, so they're pretty poor. And I promise you, I'm the first one committing that. So what you do is you have a staging environment, a verification environment with a similar setup of some servers or applications that would like to monitor. And you run the management pack within that for maybe a week, a month, depending on what you want to accomplish. You gather information and you build your override as it will fit the need. And what that will bring you in sort of value is the fact of, okay, you will not get any noise, unwanted noise. Instead of thinking that is the world championship of management pack imports, take it easy and think twice before you act. The second part is really, really funny. Proof of concept installations. Building POC only comes with a challenge. The challenge is not to build them too good. And I will tell you why. If you build a proof of concept installation too good, the company will say, oh, this is so good, I'll take that in production. And it's like, no! The big handbrake. Don't go there. Don't take a proof of concept installation into production. Boys and girls, it is wrong. Okay? Can we agree on that? I will tell you why it's wrong, because I'm not going to stand here on stage like a stage monkey just saying stuff. I will explain it. The reason why it's wrong is, how does a proof of concept installation scale? You feel me? How does it scale? It scales poorly. It does a tremendously bad job of scaling. What do you think actually happens when you put a proof of concept installation within your production environment with production services? Epic failure. I built a restore service for a hoster, proof of concept, and they're like, oh, this is good, we'll like it. And they just swooped in all the customers. A month later, they call me and say, Robert, it's broken. It's a POC. It should not, last. But we took it in production. Okay. That is no good. So scaling is very important. Don't just do stuff. Try to understand how and why you should scale it. How many of you guys are working with ITIL or PM3 or whatever? Okay. Do you like it? Hoorah! Yeah? It is a good thing. Never underestimate the power of ITIL or processes or routines, because building a true proactive concept of monitoring comes from understanding your services within your data center. Your services data dependencies is all built up from understanding what is important and what is not. Routines and processes, the lack of those two guys are the biggest gap in providing successful implementation of a monitoring concept. I don't care if it's Ops Manager, I don't care if it's Ops Manager or WhatsApp Gold or whatever. If you don't have an understanding of, hey guys, if you don't have an understanding, hey you, of what you should monitor, what is important, how could you meet the requirements of the company? How can you build that? You can't. Presentation. Okay, here's the funny thing. Remember when I said it was a world championship of importing management packs, right? We just punch in the management pack. We use Ops Manager to just gather a lot of alerts, and we have a data warehouse database, way. We have reports, way, and we have a slow environment, and we have a lot of, inconveniences and errors that is not, you can't put your finger on it. Intimate errors. If you want to build a presentation of something, start simple and try it out. Build a dashboard. If you think that, or if you build a distributed application, you will see that it is quite, pushing the square through a circular hole is quite stiff. That's why you need to look also to the fact of empowering your solution with third-party software. Use a vision. Those guys know their stuff. Justin, raise your hand. Talk to that guy there. You have some kind of, free release, new thing that happens like for the 4th year. So it's free of charge. Free of charge, go to him. Seriously, I'm being honest here. From my experience out in the field, don't consider the possibility of building the concept using a variety of different products. Try them. If you don't like them, don't use them. It's easy. But build a concept. Ownership of alerts. All right, so here's a truthful question now. How many of you guys who rose your hand previously saying that I'm doing monitoring with Ops Manager actually have a stated ownership of the alerts? Raise your hands. 4. And 1 is lying. No, I'm kidding. So 4 of you guys are having that, and that's good. Awesome. Thumbs up, for real. But the other of you guys meet the same challenge. I'm not saying it's a problem. It is a challenge because challenges can be solved. When an alert comes for your SQL, your SharePoint, or whatever, how should you react? Who should you forward this information to? How should you present it? Via a dashboard or via distributed application? You must have someone who owns this thing. Ownership is so important. You really, really need this. So, a true proactive monitoring approach. This is a way of doing it, right? Forget about white papers, forget about best practices, forget about everything. You design your best practice. It is your data center, it is your business. You know the business, Microsoft does not. That is easy. So, be inspired of the different white papers that we produce, both from the MVP community and within Microsoft. Be inspired, but they are never, and I repeat, never applicable in a one-on-one scenario down to your business. You don't want to go there. So, where to start? How do you start building a true proactive monitoring concept? Okay, so first off, get a grip of the different products out there. What is the product that you really, really need? So, defining that and try to understand what your business really consists of. Also, build some kind of monitoring concept, and you can be calm, I'll walk you through this. And last but not least, monitoring and proactive monitoring, guys, are always connected to business continuity. That is the fact. Moving on. So there are a lot of different products out there. You got Ops Manager, WhatsApp Gold, OP5. There's a lot of them. There's a variety of possibilities. Some will do a great job, some will do a poor job. But have a look at them, because the scenario is for you to decide, right? So, monitoring concept. How do you start? Well, define within your organization, do a pre-study, right? A vision analysis of what is actually important to me or to my business. Do you need to monitor all your servers within your data center? Yes or no? No. True. Mm-hmm. From a hosting perspective, true. From a business perspective, EPG, CAT, SMB, whatever, false. What you should do, and also in some hosting perspective, also false, but I'll get to that. What is important from a business perspective is to identify what is the most critical business services we need to monitor. What is important? How should we communicate the information that we gather? You need to have a provided ownership. You need to have distributed channels that you can provide the information to someone, not just an ops manager admin saying, oh, 2,000 alerts just this morning. I need coffee. That is not a good thing. So you need to have a strategy. So last but not least, ITIL. Don't try to build an ITIL concept including all of it. It will never work. Start small and make it decent. Make it count. Start with one process and start small. Business continuity. How many truly knows the actual fact of what it is? Hands up. Good. I love that you guys are being honest. So business continuity. I do a lot of, strategical analytics, data center design, cloud design jobs. And within that field, I operate and try to invent the proper business continuity plan for that business. Meaning, how should they provide uptime? How should they continuously work to provide an uptime for the service that they are providing to the business. And most important, this is not a static thing. It is an activity. It is changing, and it will change. You know why? The market is changing, and you need always to map to the market. A very common scenario when it comes to business continuity is that someone calls me and said, "Hey, Robert, I heard that you are doing business continuity plans." "Yeah? Can you come?" "Of course." And I come, and I say, "Okay, so what's the deal?" "Oh, we had a crash, we had a problem, we had a failure." You don't want to start with a business continuity plan when you're having a problem. That is wrong. Yeah? Good. So build your business continuity plan when you don't have a disaster. That's the way to do it. And this is not a poor joke from Sweden. No, it is the truth. So, thinking of business and importancy and all that stuff, what does your business consist of? You have provided services, right? You have implemented solutions. You have provisionized services based on the decent pre-study and documentation. Or do you? Maybe some of you do, and maybe some of you don't. But now is the time. I will tell you why. Now the time is, the marketing out there is changing. You heard about the private cloud story for years back, right? And private, public, hybrid, whatever cloud, of course it is applicable in some manners to your business. But most importantly, you must start thinking services that provide value, brings value of some kind to your business. Here's the fact. Size doesn't matter. If you're a small company or a large company, it doesn't matter. You still need the same approach, the same concept, the same strategy. Remember that. If you walk through this process, this hurdle of work, if you do that, the outcome will be something really, really good. You will have a clear strategy. You will provide a vision. Not only will you have a proper design that you can scale, you will also have an easy concept. Simplicity is one of the 5 pillars in a business continuity plan. Never underestimate simplicity. It isn't cool or good or anything to have 50 PowerShell scripts running simultaneously. Simplicity is the key factor for success. Okay? Simplicity and order. Then it works. So building the proactive concept, it comes from you guys doing a pre-study, understanding how and what are my services, and you scale up manager so it will fit. The thing is, I bump into a lot of remarkably wonderful, fantastic persons in my line of business, and I love it. And the challenges that most guys and girls are facing is that they don't scale ops manager. They're like, they want to build a Porsche, but they're using the engine of a Skoda instead. Scale ops manager so it will fit your need. Think of ops managers, management service that you dedicate in your resource pools as resources or additional resources to the service that you just provide more compute to that service. How should you present your information? If you want, as I said just in here before, if you want to build, a dynamic approach of the distributed applications, look at third-party vendors. Do it. Because Microsoft is not doing it right now. Okay, demo time. You want to see some proactive monitoring, how to do it? Yeah, good. We're learning. We are communicating. I love it. Okay, so here goes nothing. So building proactive monitoring concept, of course, is understanding the different business needs. In this fictive company, Contoso, has just set up a new type of service that they want to monitor. And for you guys who attend my session previously, this will be a recap. But that's a good thing because then you'll know it by heart and soul. So the first thing that we do when we build distributed application is, of course, we define what do we have, what the services build up from, and we go to DAD. And DAD is Distributed Application Designer. And from that, we build a distributed application. We add some different components. I'm just going to build something here. Wakey pakey. There you go. Okay, so I have two different components here, and I'm going to fill these components with my different objects. So, and the first one, WS, that's for Windows servers. Fantastic, creative of me. So I'm popping in a Windows server there, and I also have a SQL. These are the dependencies of my distributed application, and then I create a relationship. So, whoops, the wrong way. There you go. And then I'll save it. And now I have a distributed application. It took me less than 1 minute. So building stuff is not the challenge. It is understanding how you map the need to technology. And that is far most the important challenge, or most frequently challenge I'm seeing out there. People are building stuff. Okay. Why are you building it? Oh, it's cool. I read it on the blog. Okay, cool. Fine. But what value does it bring? It just gives you, a poor experience in Ops Manager. So from that, we have build and distribute application and service level tracking. How many of you guys are actually having service level agreements? Yes, I know you do. You can't hide from me. And that's a good thing. But the most common service level agreements, guys, are best effort. You know what? That doesn't work. Best effort service level agreements is like, so, my service died. I'm paying you the bucks. We're going to fix it. Best effort. Coffee break. Yes, coffee break. There it is. And that is not the right way, right? Yeah. So what you need to do is start understanding how can I build a service level agreement. It comes from understanding the three key components of recovery time objective, level objectives, and point objectives. What time do I need to get the service up? What data loss do I have? And what level of recovery should I provide to this service? Easy as that. So let's say now that we have an SLA. Yeah. And every distributed application that you build in Ops Manager will be a class. And with classes, you can do many fun stuff. The cool thing or good thing about classes, many of you guys may have worked with Ops Manager for a while and know that all targets I create and relate to a class will follow in whatever dashboard or whatever I do in Ops Manager. And that's a good thing. Sometimes it's an interesting thing, but most of the time, it's a good thing. We have two different types of state or SLOs that we can use. We can have the monitoring state or collection rule. We will go with the monitoring state for this example, since this is the one we want. So, service level objective goals. What is that? Anyone? No one? You attended my session last time. Come on. I'm counting on you. No more ringness for you. Yes. Good man. Good man. That's right. And we need to specify the different states that you want to be counted as downtime. Well, will it be if I have a warning? Will that be downtime? Maybe, maybe not. It depends, right? Depends on the SLA that is built up on the three components, RPO, RTO, RLO, that is defining the business continuity plan that everybody in this audience has, right? So, unplanned maintenance, of course. Monitoring disabled, yada, yada, This is so important. The default value is 99%. As I mentioned in my previous session, I met these fantastic persons at a hoster saying that, oh, we have SLAs. Yeah, it's 2 hours. Booyah. Okay, 2 hours. For month? Week? No, year. Okay, you never reboot, you never patch, you never... Okay. So you need to be realistic. Come on. Here's the thing. You don't want to have alerts in Ops Manager. I don't know if you have thought of it. You don't want to have alerts. So build the solution so when an alerts come, it actually counts. So put in a decent percentage instead. And there you go. So service level tracking object is now defined according to a distributed application that we previously built. Now we need to present it in some way. And we have two ways of doing this. Either we can use a dashboard, summary level dashboard, and we're going to use that and going to show you how to do it. But we can also extend that to SharePoint. So you can have a web page where your help desk or your CDO or whatever can look at the important service that you have defined in Ops Manager. But for now, let's start with the dashboard. Have you tried the dashboards? Play around with them? Since you are Ops gurus? Yeah, some of you, cool. So service level dashboard is the one we should pick here. We're going to add our class that we built earlier. And there we go. And there you 24 hours. Yes, that is so good. And we create it. Now we provide a visualization of the objects. Since Ops Manager is super fast, my demo is already finished. Pew! And from here now, we need to gather some information regarding, what is the current state, blah, blah, blah. And there you have it. Now's the time when you guys should applaud. So applaud. Yeah, good. So this is like Ops out of the box. This is nothing fancy at all, but this could be implemented so wrong. So you need to think before you act. So this is one way of building some kind of proactivity. Building distributed applications will give you, that simple view of the current health state of the different components that the service is built up from. And of course, you need the different management packs so you can have the objects within Ops Manager to manage them, to pick them and put them in different components in your distributed application designer. Okay. Azure integrated services. Here's where the fun part starts. There are so many different services in Azure, constantly just popping up. And it is a good thing. But what is the challenge that companies are now facing is how should we use all of them? No. Pick the one that you actually need. Azure AD perhaps, or whatever. Pick the service that you need. How many of you guys have started looking at GSM? You like it? You hate it? It's okay. Yeah, and that's my opinion also. It is okay. It does a good job. It is nothing that I show my wife and she's like, oh my God! That doesn't happen. I show Justin, he's like, yeah. No. But GSM is a probing mechanism from Azure caches around the world, from multiple data centers that we can use to probe our external web servers. Here's the thing. When you build a monitoring concept of, proactively trying to understand what is going on with my web page or whatever, or my web shop, GSM is the way to go. You can also use internal, members in your management group to probe out and try that, but going outside and in, that's the way you should do it, right? You agree? All of you? Good. So it gives you a decent presentation of the results. And you can also, as I mentioned, use synthetic transactions. Are you using those? Anyone? No one? You are, of course you are. Oh, how good of you. So building up with synthetic transactions, meaning that we record a process, meaning that we go to the web shop, we put an item in the chart, and we check out. And we do that, and we do that, and we do that, and then it fails, and then you get an alert. GSM, oh, more demos. Oh my God. Demo. So first off, GSM, how do you set it up? Well, first you must integrate, your Azure subscription with Ops Manager, and of course you need to buy the service. That's a good start. And when you have that done, you're ready to go. Building global service monitoring is based on this template, web application availability monitoring. And I want to monitor this fantastic, web page. The best conference in the world. So, from here, I'll name it, I put in a management pack, and then I'll put in something here, and the URL, there you go. Oh, Murphy, why do you even come here? Die, Murphy, die. There you go. So, and no. Do you like the weather in Norway? I do. Oh, there you go. That was a feature from Microsoft, right? So let's move on. So you have different type of locations that you want to probe from, externally and internally. From here you have a variety of different caches that you can choose from. Sydney, Sao Paulo, Zurich, Paris, Hong Kong, and so on and so forth. So what is important is, of course, you don't want to use all of them, but if you know that we have a lot of business in Hong Kong, we'll pick the cache in Hong Kong. That's simple. Yes. So we pick Hong Kong and, of course, Dublin. And we can also have internal monitoring agents doing probing. And there you go. Then I just create it, and it will take some time to generate and start working. So I've done like they do on TV, the Swedish chefs. I prepared. And here you go. I'm monitoring the site NIC.conf, and from Stockholm, when you're probing, you got transaction time, you got DNS resolution, content time, and so on and so forth. And this is a decent information, right? It is not a woohoo, but it's a decent, good information that is of some value. Also, you can have this map. This map has not the latest update, so as you see, the Stockholm location is somewhere, Romania, somewhere, yeah. But that is also a feature. So applying the latest update will fix that. So there's GSM. And when you do this, when you build your GSM monitoring, guess what? You will have classes. You can take that classes, put it in your component within your distributed application, and you can provide service level tracking object to that within your SLA, and providing a dashboard. Azure subscription services. How many of you guys and girl are using Azure? There is actually a girl on my session. I'm so happy. Yeah. Sorry, I was so unfocused. Good. So Azure subscriptions, or the consumption of Azure, it is, in some cases, really, really, really good. And in other cases, really, really expensive. So you need to leverage, the pros and cons before you start doing it. Do you need to monitor Azure itself? Do you understand my question? You don't? I'm from Sweden, so maybe my English is a bit poor. But I got a lot of questions regarding, can I monitor Azure? You can monitor your subscriptions and the health state of the current object within your Azure subscriptions. Yeah. But what do you mean? No, Azure itself. No. Why do you want to do that? So that is not doable. Will Azure go down and die? Of course. It is powered by humans, and we are doing stuff wrong. So keep that in mind. So what you do is you use your subscription ID and certificate that you create for authentication up to Azure from Ops Manager. And as you import the Azure Management Pack, you need to provide 2 run-as accounts, one binary and one basic, for this to work. And what it actually does is it verifies the service health in Azure via the subscription ID. Are anyone using the Azure Management Pack? No one? Okay, cool. I'll show you how it looks like, how it looks. Oh, sorry, I forgot one slide. Extending the monitoring experience. If you want to build something in Azure, you build something as a service. I don't care. You build something in Azure. You provide it there, you provisionize it there, and so on and so forth. There is no management pack for it. What do you do? Can you do something? Can you? Come on, I'm asking you. Can you? Yeah. Extend the monitoring experience using PowerShell APIs. Those are a little bit stiffy, but they're working. And you need to put your brains to it sometimes to get it, optimal. But there's always, boys and girls, a solution to the challenge. You can always fix it. Ops Insights. How many of you guys have started looking at Ops Insights? Good. And experience, please tell me. I'm part of the Ops Insight group internally in Microsoft in Redmond, so I'm really interested in hearing your feedback. Do you like it, or does it suck? You can say something. It's okay. Don't be afraid. It's okay. It's okay. Good. You're being honest. I love it. It is okay. It needs more work. We know that. But we never say that it is finished. We are saying it is under development. Think of the possibilities of using currently Ops Insight as your log analytics system. There are a lot of compute power in Azure, and you're more than welcome to use that compute power. You can build up your specific logs from your own developed applications and start, providing some kind of, proactivity from Ops Insights. Also, you have different intelligence packs, and from, I guess, around Ignite, there will be some releases regarding how you can start build your own intelligence packs. This is Microsoft's primary focus. And that is due to the fact that this is an Azure service. And Azure is the only, not the only, but the major focus, like 80% focus on development for Microsoft is Azure. They will not drop on-prem products, but they will not maybe develop new features within Ops Manager, but they will develop new management packs, they will fix bugs, optimizing the products, and so on and so forth. When you are integrating Ops Insights with Ops Manager, you also have the possibility via the connector to present the alerts that is created in Operational Insights in your Operations Manager console. You're also able to configure and optimize the information gathered in Ops Manager. There are different types of alerts. You have the auto-closing alerts and non-auto-closing alerts. You can have 2,000 listed alerts, and it can be managed, as I said, via the operational console. Let's go to demo one more time. So first things first, let's have a look at that Azure Management Pack so you guys have actually seen it. So my services in Azure. Here are my active alerts, here are my service states. Swedish lab. So, and there's my Minecraft server that my kids are playing around with in Azure. So what you do here is this is not a monitor object right now, it's gathering information about it. But you have some kind of, presentation of discovered storage. You have, the virtual machines that are up and running in Azure right now for my subscription, and so on and so forth. And this gives you a hint of what is going on. Question? No question? No, okay. But this guy, this is the thing, right? Here you got operational insights. And when it comes to operational insights, you have different type of intelligence pack, like SQL, change tracking, alerts, configuration, malware, and log management. The thing that Op Insight will gather and analyze for you will also be providing in Ops Manager if you like. When it comes to configure the different types of alerts, let's say you have your own application, right, with an own log to that. And that log, let's take banks, for example. They have a lot of fun, different kind of interesting applications with interesting logs. And from a banking perspective, the information that we create there, we can shoot that up in Azure, and we can start analyze it. So it is very easy to configure. If you have your service name here, you have some suggestions in the drop-downs, but you can just provide your service like I've done here for DPM, Ops Manager, so I can monitor it, I can put it up, so I can build something decent about it or around it. What you do with log management is that you have this search. And you have different, as you see here, different kind of logs. Let's go and have a look at the DPM alerts, for example. And this one is also very important. You can, export that and use that within your PowerShell scripts. So you can automate stuff, so you don't have to, go in here every time. And here's the good thing. Let's say I want to look at one specific moment. So this will bring me drilling down thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of logs due to a specific time where I have, the log I'm looking for. And currently in this solution, I have, let's see now, I have, yeah, a lot of logs. So it's quite fast, right? So building a proactive monitoring concept. It comes from understanding your data services dependencies, your business need, defining service level tracking objects that are based on recovery time objectives, recovery level objectives, and recovery point objectives. Map that to a business continuity plan. When you have that, you can install or provide the proactive monitoring experience to your business. Otherwise, you just install another product. If you have questions, ask before you act. I welcome you to send me your questions. Hey, Robert, I was attending your session and I don't get it. I get this error, or what's up with Azure Operational Insights? What's up with Azure integration or whatever? Send me your questions. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So, that's all, folks. Time for some ringness and some happy times. And thank you. And also remember, there's an evaluation. When you go out, you have 3 different cards. You have the red one. Those are bad. Don't touch them. They will bite you. They will poison your soul, kill your kids, and oh, you know that. You have the green ones. They're a little bit nicer, but don't touch those suckers either. Go with the green ones. Yeah, go with the green ones and just fill it up. Yeah, cool. Take care now.